Welcome to the CBTM Smart Partners Hub. Today is 2nd of July 2015. We are in the CBTM Smart Partners Fellows with the Central Bank Governors, Smart Partners, a core of them, and Deputy Governors. And we've been joined by a special, not guest, a special Smart Partner, our Honorable Hausiku from Namibia, a very long-term Smart Partner, as well as by quite a number of colleagues, Smart Partners from various parts of inclusion initiatives, such as Alan Bryden, who is leading, together with the others, the Equality Inclusion. A number of High Commissioners, like for instance, Her Excellency High Commissioner from Swaziland, and of course, specialists from the International Telecommunication Union. So we would like to let you know what transpired or perspired, because it's very hot in London at the hub, in the morning today, and what is likely to happen in the afternoon. So, Honorable Hausiku, please, you start the whole discussion. It'll be a very short one, but just a message to the movement.
Yeah, is it a message to the movement or
Yes.
specifically to Dr. Mahathir?
His boss, he is part of the movement.
Yeah, no, I think my message really is to Dr. Mahathir. I will not talk about what we discussed this morning, but I wanted just to express my sincere appreciation of the contribution Dr. Mahathir have made with his colleagues to creating this movement. Indeed, in my view, Dr. Mahathir and his colleagues have gone very far in educating us that caring for people is the way forward. Caring for our system is the way forward. And I believe that this idea will grow and grow amongst the people of the world. Thank you very much for your contribution.
And thank you for being with us again. Okay, we'll try to come to Namibia to maintain what you started last year, Honorable Hausiku. Prof, shall we go this way? Yeah, please. Professor Beno, Governor of Tanzania.
Yeah, thank you. One thing that this morning we really focused on is to harness ideas from the SMART partnership and put them into action. So we spent a good bit of time just taking stock of how the ideas collected from previous engagement have already started to produce results through digital financial inclusion, and also appreciated very much that the approach of networking, even in the context of implementing good ideas, has the capacity to produce big results very quickly.
Thank you. Okay, Governor.
Thank you very much. This is the first time that I'm attending this meeting myself. My country has been participating for some time now. And today's discussions on financial inclusion, I found them to be quite frank and at a level that everyone is comfortable to relate how far they are, what challenges they have, and the richness of the discussion is based, in my opinion, on the sharing of the frank sharing of the experiences and learning from each other. Of course, some countries are ahead of others, but in this manner, I believe if we approach things this way, we can together move forward as a continent and as the world. And the technology that we are talking about in financial inclusion is a very available and very convenient one for us to make a difference in our respective financial sectors and in the world. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you very much. And you came with the Smart Partners Hub from Lesotho, yeah? Shall we move to the governors and then Governor Sitola?
Thank you. The discussions that we had this morning, particularly on the issue of financial inclusion, reminded us of the fact that financial inclusion is not as narrow as you might have initially thought. If you want all the citizens of a country to participate, your financial inclusion should be thinking, should be informed wisely by thinking of all the stakeholders, be they women, be they youth, be they the elderly. You've got to take all of those into consideration. But also, you learn that we're at various stages of participating using the latest technology to make it possible for many people to have access to financial services. There are lessons to be learned, not only from amongst ourselves, but particularly from other African countries that are also advanced, maybe even more advanced than the developed countries. There are lessons that are to be learned there. But the other thing that we also have to learn is that even as the private sector comes in and has ideas which as regulators you might not be ready, don't stifle that progress. Allow and learn as you go along, and you might then be informed how to regulate this. It's a very important step. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Governor.
Thank you so much. This is my first time also to come to the Smart Partnership Forum. I'm representing my governor who was unable to attend.
Uganda.
Yes, from Uganda. What cuts across the discussion is that actually, although we are at different stages of financial inclusion, but financial inclusion is at the heart of the matter of economic development. I think we are discussing financial inclusion because we really want economic development, and I think that is cutting across. We have learned various lessons from other countries, and also another lesson that comes across is that actually partnership at the country level matters a lot in terms of financial inclusion. The way you bring stakeholders together into taking initiatives in financial inclusion is really instrumental.
Okay. Deputy
Thank you very
Zambia.
much. I participated in the international dialogue in Lusaka.
Call it Mulungushi.
Oh, the Mulungushi dialogue. So I am somewhat familiar with the Smart Partnership, but I think as Bank of Zambia, we have perhaps not been participating as much in the recent past. And coming here to the hub and participating in this discussion has just shown me what we're missing. This is an opportunity to share in the thinking. One's own thinking may have some limitations, but having an opportunity to share in a broader thinking that the Smart Partnership platform presents, I think is very, very valuable. And I have gathered quite a lot of ideas, and from countries at various stages of development in this area of financial inclusion, and particularly digital financial inclusion. And I see a lot of opportunities to learn. I've already identified what I want to follow up where from the various speakers that spoke this morning. So I'm going to be encouraging my central bank to be more active.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Caleb, you're also director of CPTM board in addition to former governor.
Well, thank you very much. I think the discussion this morning was very enriching. I've been there since we started discussing this financial inclusion, but I must say that digital financial inclusion makes all the difference. It makes it possible to really move, to run And I think examples which we had today showed that countries have made tremendous progress in a very short period of time. But it also puts Africa on the cutting edge. I think this is the one technology which we can say probably belongs to Africa. And if we can invest wisely, encourage our young people to play around with software and so forth, we could really be heading to somewhere good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, High Commissioner, you are not a central bank governor, but you are one of those that have to be included or are already included in financial inclusion.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Mahathir for his vision. We are all like now reaping the fruits, we see the results. And this morning's discussion, it was really inspiring because countries were able to share ideas, and it was also like a yardstick to see how far we have gone improving the technology. So after this meeting, I'm sure countries will be able to maybe to make a follow-up and get ideas on those who have already gone a step ahead.
Thank you very much. Alan,
Well, first,
as being not a governor, but
yeah, I'm just a citizen
Standard.
of the world. A smart partner. Well, what maybe I could highlight is from the presentations we've had, we've seen how topical and promising digital financial inclusion is in support of financial inclusion and more generally of economic and social transformation. We have seen also that the level of deployment in the various countries represented is very diverse, and therefore the subject lends itself to the smart partnership approach of networking, think tanking, prosper thy neighbor, both amongst countries who can share experience and benefit from the success and errors of others, and also within a country because of the diversity of actors that have to be brought in. Because it's not only the banking system, but it's also the telecom regulators and the operators, it's also consumers, it's also the banking system in general,
Private sector.
the administration. So it's, I would say, a very promising area for the smart partnership movement to deploy its specific actions.
thank you, Alan. Thank you. Shall we say International Telecommunication Union and then finally Professor Sam?
Okay, so the ITU, International Telecommunication Union, would like to thank the Smart Partnership very much for being invited. Thank you very much, Michaela. Classical banking industry is not working for the poor. Today there are still about 2 billion people without a bank account. However, of those 2 billion people, more than 3/4 have a mobile phone. And the information and communication industry seems to have come to the rescue. It has been very disruptive also in the financial services market by offering new services which allow the unbanked people to participate in the economic system. Some of the issues that were highlighted this morning were the need for standards. You need standards to allow a transfer of money from a client that is with operator A to a client that is operator B. The need for international standards was pointed out. Just one concrete example is people who would like to send remittances from far away back home. So the system needs to be internationally interoperable. So what the Smart Partnership has been able to do today was actually bringing like half a dozen governors of the top markets. You said this is something where Africa is leading, and which is absolutely true. Africa is here at the forefront. So it has also been shown that it's very important to bring the right constituencies together to build frameworks. And the exchange that we had this morning among the governors was just excellent, and so ITU is very happy to be part of it because we have a project that brings together the bankers and the ICT regulators to come up with best practices for digital financial inclusion. Thank you very much.
Reinhard, I hope that now you will continue to be a smart partner, including
I would be
ITU as such.
delighted.
And
We were off of
hopefully
that.
looking at the longer term, Alan and I will always do that. And if I don't, he's remind me nowadays. Hopefully we will have more than just a webinar, but probably because there is a lot of need both on both sides
Would be
for
delighted.
our framework and your expertise.
We would be, ITU would be delighted.
Thank you very much for coming.
Right now,
No.
as already.
Professor
Right.
Turiani,
So now,
maybe
what
finish what with the banking says.
Yes. So the Bachiga normally say that Abari Hamweti Barema. So now
What is that?
he laughs because he knows what it means. He knows the language. That those who are together cannot fail. And this is the message that really came to through the presentation this morning. That everybody, it is a multi-dimensional experience to manage digital financial inclusion. So everybody who is in it must be together. Must be together in it, and that you need therefore out of this togetherness to create a national financial inclusion strategy covering every dimension of it, whether it is quality, whether it is standards. I'll talk about innovation in a minute, the technology, and I was impressed that Kenya, I think it was Caleb who said it. I think Kenya, they have established some kind of research center, African Silicon Valley, because you do need some homegrown solutions. This is the biggest risk in imported technology, because it is may not be suitable for you. So this is an area for us for growth. We are on the forefront now.
Imports what?
We
import from Kenya.
We import well, in Kenya they are trying to home grow some technology for digital financial inclusion amongst others, and I would like to see this perhaps extended and brought its conclusion so that we are at least contributing to the development of technology in this area. So that's why the
Smart
second,
29ers quite
especially yes, the Smart 29ers. The second point which I was trying to emphasize before this was that we at the Smart Partnership Movement have been talking about carrying forward national visions, and we have 3 pillars, of which financial inclusion is one. But clearly, financial inclusion draws in the other 2 very easily. It draws in the issue of technology and innovation, because that is basically the technological development that has enabled Africa to be a front runner in this area. And my neighbor here was telling me that out of the 10 top countries in the world, 9 are from Africa. Only Paraguay is outside Africa. So it's partly because, of course, our telephone technology was not developed. So for us, we could frog jump the others, which already invested heavily in traditional telephones. But that's an advantage. Every crowd, but you also have the same equivalent. Every crowd has a silver lining. Oh, also that every silver lining has a dark cloud. So there is a cost to everything. So so this is one lesson I started off with, that with technology we must be able to be in control of it. Otherwise, you can get out of control if you just import it wholesale from others that made that point. Then there is the issue of quality and standards. It was clear from the presentation this morning that we are all trying to do the same things, but at different levels. But what didn't emerge is whether we have exchanged enough information on standardization, on the quality delivery of these services. Because these are services to the consumers, we include them, of course, on these as stakeholders when we are developing a financial inclusion strategy for the country. Make sure they don't lose, they also gain maximally from it. But there must be a framework of standards, and we have a number of people here that are actually sandwiched by 2. who can contribute to this by picking some of the ideas that were floated around here and some of the variables, the key variables that came through the presentations. So the three actually merge into one, and this is going to be a big transformational factor in the development of our economies through realization of the various national visions, that is 2020, 2016, 2030, 2040 for Uganda, without bringing in everybody to be an actor in the economy and a participant. The vision will not materialize. This is really the message. We need to bring everybody, all the age, the young, the illiterate, the super literate, to work together in a smart partnership for the development of the economy and then the country.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Sam. And I suppose with this, the core of the Smart Partners Financial Inclusion, the Central Bank governors and colleagues will be joining the afternoon session, where will be even more emphasis on in-depth technology, various technology aspects, both digital financial services, but also other specific aspects of open data type of strategies which are connected with this big data, which is mentioned so much in every newspaper you open, or when on your mobile you see big data on Twitter or whatever, and you wonder, do we really understand what that is in practical terms, or metadata or blockchains and so on. So we're going to go with that a bit more in detail, and hopefully with the help of our
Smart partner.
Smart partner, we will be able to conclude of probably a bit of a larger, Professor Ben, a larger kind of think tanking with other colleagues of yours, and probably either in Namibia or in Swaziland or in Dar es Salaam, because I think this morning's session could have been very well a whole day, probably, discussion and dialogue with more colleagues in real time rather than at the hub. But usually we experiment at the hub, as the chair of the movement, President Museveni, always said, let's discuss it first here among ourselves, and then we'll try to put it in a broader context. So thank you very much to Central Bank governors, and there will be some background as usually from that, what transpired. So, and all the best to Dr. Mahathir. 10th of July is coming, so while you're still 89, Tun, probably you can still be younger than 90. All the best.